So today I want to talk about John Williams. I don't think a day has gone past in my life where I haven't wanted to talk about John Williams. He is my idol, he's my hero, and he's one of the greatest composers of all time. Not just for film, if you listen to some of his concert works as well, the guy is really a genius, as well as being a pretty talented pianist, but that's a different story, a different life. Anyway, John Williams, he's written some incredible scores. E.T., Star Wars, Jaws, Close Encounters, which is my favourite film score of all time. I want to talk about John Williams. So, John Williams, what does he compose? Does he compose things? Let's find out. I would place John Williams in what I would refer to as the old school of film composing, which I would consider to be before technology became a process in the art of filmmaking or in the art of film scoring. So this goes back to the golden age, people like Eric Korngold and Max Steiner, through to Bernard Herrmann, Henry Mancini, people like that, and then John Williams and Ennio Morricone, Elmer Bernstein, people like that. So we're talking pre-80s creation, I think, 80s and 70s. So John Williams started composing in the 50s. There wasn't technology around, okay? Technology wasn't even a thing. In fact, even technology that was used, for example Bernard Herrmann's score for The Day the Earth Stood Still, using theremins and modular synths, was played by people. It wasn't like modern day synthesizer, it was quite different. It was like a tangible instrument that you would play. This survived through to John Williams in 2005 when he did the score for War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise, great movie. Not really a great movie, to be completely honest, but I have to say I have a great fondness for the sound that the fighting machines make. It's really great, it's like my version of ASMR listening to that sound. In that score, John Williams uses synthesizers, he uses synthesized sounds. However, the way he creates those sounds in the score, in the recording session, he has a guy, a pianist, sit and play the piano, plays a keyboard, and that's where we get the synth sounds from. He is so old school that he doesn't program it in, he doesn't do anything like that, he still uses it like an orchestral master would do. So what is the process of scoring a movie if you're in the old school? So the first thing you'd do is you'd have what's known as a spotting session, where you'd sit down with the director and the producers maybe, and you'd watch the movie. It might not even be completely edited yet, but you'd watch it on a small little screen and you'd figure out what hit points you needed to hit, what emotional strings you needed to hit, what kind of music you needed to produce to make the movie. So you'd go away, and if you were lucky, you would have a projector or even a small television, and you would be able to watch the movie and maybe rewind and figure stuff out and maybe play along on the piano, but you wouldn't have the process that we have now where you can sync up a movie digitally on a computer. So the process would be spot, record, sit at a piano and record and orchestrate. Often John Williams would orchestrate his stuff himself, which is quite rare. Then realise at the recording session. This would be the first time that anyone will hear what the music will actually sound like, which is incredible. What an amount of trust you have to have in a composer to let them do that. This is completely different to how we do it in what I would refer to as the new school of film composing, which I kind of want to include myself, but I've only done a couple of student film scores, so I'm not going to really classify myself up against people like Thomas Newman and Hans Zimmer. So those cats came up during the 80s, where technology was part of music creation. You had Pro Tools, Cubase, things like that, and you had computers, and you could digitally take the movie, put it in your project, and compose to it. You could sync things up exactly. You didn't have to be good at it. You didn't have to be good at thinking what's going to sound good. You could just see it happen. You could make it happen. Often you will have a MIDI realization of your score before you get to the recording session. You'll have what's known as an orchestral markup or a mock-up. The benefit of this is that your director can hear the music and see the film before you go and lock in the recording session. But I think you possibly lose some of that creation and some of that artistry. For example, whilst recording E.T., which is an incredible film by Steven Spielberg about a little gross alien that completely captured everyone's hearts and totally did make me cry. That film was amazing and the score is incredible as well. But what's really interesting is when they were recording it, John Williams was conducting the orchestra and he realised that if he played it exactly how the music should be played, how he felt he wrote it, it didn't quite sync up with the movie. And if he made it sync up with the movie, the music didn't sound quite right. Things were too fast, too slow, it didn't have the right feel. So Steven Spielberg said, "It's alright, John, I'll just re-edit the picture." What? That's incredible, that's insane. I don't think you'd hear that happening today in the new school. That scoring session was an act of creation. It was how a new feeling for that whole end section of the movie came when the boys are flying on the bikes with E.T. I would liken it to having someone like Daniel Day-Lewis, who's an incredible actor, on set, and maybe he's doing some mad shit that you hadn't planned. Maybe he's doing something that you hadn't thought of, and it wasn't in the script, but it's bringing something extra to the movie. And you trust him, you trust his instincts, you trust his choices, and it adds to the movie. You wouldn't get that if you just had a robot that said the exact script that you had planned out. In the same way that you have faith in actors, why not have the same faith in composers? One answer is that we've got a lot more movies being made today, a lot more composers, and also probably a lot more money being put into these movies. You need to make sure you've got producers breathing down your neck, making sure that you're getting the best movie possible. And that comes from knowing what you're going to get in the end. Like I say, the benefit of having MIDI mock-ups and MIDI realizations and knowing what you're going to have in the end is it means that the recording session is a lot easier, because you know you just need to record it. You know you just need to get those takes. You don't need to have an actual creation. But you see people like Brian Tyler, and he has loads of great videos of him recording film scores. But you can see in the back, you can just see the metronome going up. He doesn't need to be conducting, he doesn't need to be there, because everyone has a click in their ears. Everyone is just listening to beep, boop, 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 playing his score. There's not an act of creation there, there's no artistry there, I think. That is just a veneer, just a final varnish. It's almost like the recording session has become an afterthought as opposed to an act of creation. I think this has also given rise to what I would refer to as helicopter directing. You know, directors scanning every inch of what you do and making sure that it's exactly right. It's very suffocating, I think, and I think if you were to try and suffocate John Williams, I don't think it would work. And I know people like J.J. Abrams, while they were recording The Force Awakens, said it was like cheating having John Williams record the music, because he is so amazing and you know that he's going to give you an incredible score. I mean, he is the second most nominated person in the Academy Awards, behind Walt Disney, making him the most nominated living person for Academy Awards. He's won 5 Academy Awards, 4 for Best Original Score. Not to mention the guy has been composing movies since 1954, where he scored the music to a documentary about Newfoundland. The tourism board commissioned him to write music to a piece called You Are Welcome. 1954, the guy was 22 years old, so he has been composing for 65 years for films. That is that's a lifetime of composing for movies. This guy's got a pedigree, and not only that, but he's got the awards to show that this guy knows what he's doing. He doesn't need to update or change or, download Logic 10 and get cracking on learning it. He knows what he's doing, and he's one of the great orchestral masters, and I feel truly kind of honoured to know that I'm living in the same time John Williams got to live. I know that might sound a bit corny, but he really is a bit like lightning in a bottle. He's incredible, and I'm a massive fan. Anyway, John, I know you've been watching. I know you watch YouTube, and I know you've come across me, and I love you. Thank you for all that you do. And thanks for listening to the first episode of, John Williams. What does he compose? Does he compose things? Let's find out. I might do more videos because there's plenty of other amazing facts about John Williams, other than just the fact that he's in the old school. He's a jazz pianist, and he's led an incredible life. I love you, John. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hello, I hope you enjoyed that video. I had a lot of fun making it. I want to just thank my videographer slash editor slash graphic person, Sam G, who was great in putting that video together. I just want to really thank him. He's the only person I want to thank apart from John Williams, who provided me with a lot of reason to talk about. Talking about John Williams, I recently saw The Rise of Skywalker. As you'll notice, there's a bit of tinsel in the background. It's feeling very Christmassy at the minute. This video will come out after Christmas, but I have seen The Rise of Skywalker, saw it at midnight as it came out, and you know what? I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a brilliant movie, and I think that obviously the best thing about it was John Williams' score. Some of the stuff he does with Rey's theme and Kylo Ren's theme, and just wonder, and bringing back some older themes as well. I mean, it was just absolutely sublime. It just felt like a very matured and developed score that really it tied off the movies really well. The end of the Skywalker saga, it brought us there with a really satisfying conclusion musically. I think the movie was satisfying anyway, but that score was just incredible, and it made me really emotional. Sat in the cinema watching the credits, thinking this is the last bit of John Williams' original Star Wars music I will hear, and it just sort of blew my mind. And I've been very lucky to live through the last 6 movies. Like I've seen all the last 6 movies as they came out, and it's pretty awesome. And I think John Williams is the thing that makes it so incredible for me. John Williams is the hook that pulls you into these movies. Definitely, 100%. The videography, the cinematography, the designs, the look, the script, all those things really do make it a great experience. But the music, there are a lot of people who haven't seen Star Wars, which is just like weird. But also, those people still probably know the music. The music is far outreaching compared to the movie, which I think is just really cool. So yeah, I've got lots more videos that I'm going to release and then I'm going to upload, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the podcast Off the Score with Ian Longson. Give it a watch or give it a listen on Apple Music or Spotify. And if you want to follow any of my social media stuff, it's all in the comments. Not the comments, the bit about the video. Yeah, Have a great New Year. And a Merry Christmas as well, and all the other things that people celebrate depending on where you are in the world or how you feel about things. Thanks. Bye.